Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I didn't upload a video last week, apologies for that, but we're still here. Let's get straight into it. We are in a UJ trade today, or this week, so we're going to run through that trade towards the end of the video, but we're going to start nice and simple with fundamental analysis for the week. So this is my take on the 12th of May to the 18th of May. Just to reiterate guys that this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research when investing your money into the markets. So COT reporting wise, we have US 30 big bias change, yen slightly more bullish this week. Everything else pretty much neutral. We've got S&P and NAS being very bearish, so I'm going to be on the sidelines for stocks right now. Even though US 30, which is the index that I'm trading, is up, I prefer just to stay on the sides for it. Something to notice guys is USD, big volume out of that currency. I am in a UJ trade right now, but this was prior to COT reporting. It has good fundamental bias for it to long UJ, so you know, I stuck to my rules. I put the risk on. It's all calculated, so I'm not fussed with that whatsoever. USD, we did clean up our inflation reading a little bit. So I've taken out most of it. I've popped in core CPI year on year, month on month, core PCE and core PPI. I've taken off all the other stuff, the regular CPI readings. This week we saw core CPI year on year being as expected, month on month being cooler than expected, which is bearish for the US dollar, but I'm happy with where CPI is tracking for a year-on-year basis. For PPI, it got revised up, lower than current forecast, and I've checked the past 2 to 3 years worth of core PPI month on month, and this is a very common theme where they'll revise up the previous month and put a cooler or less than forecasted reading for the current month. So neutral on that. We had core retail sales being revised up as well as higher than expected. So again, indicating bullishness on the dollar. Aussie, as you guys can see, Aussie is very bullish right now. That should be bullish here, so I'll change that for next week. But you guys can see Aussie is all green. I'm happy to trade AJ to the upside any day of the week. Yen, we can see yen starting to flip. So we had PPI being as expected. We had GDP preliminary being bearish. So they forecasted a negative 0.1%, and the actual current position is negative 0.2% and down by 0.7 to that figure. So very bearish on yen right now. I'm happy to short yen with both UJ and AJ, which we'll discuss towards the end of the slideshow. So in terms of graphs, you guys can see core CPI coming down, general trend coming down towards that 2 to 3% mark, which is what we want. We have month on month coming slightly up, but still a general trajectory down, not hyperinflated. And this, you guys got to take this in consideration with the tariffs, and tariffs now being cooler than expected or not as aggressive as what was initially thought. Are we in a risk-off environment now? Who knows? But what I can say is with the economic data from USD, it is very bullish for the time being. So I'm happy to trade USD long. PPI, same thing, coming down, trajectory coming down, month on month, year on year. Wage price index, which is how much people would earn in Australia, going up quarter on quarter, going slightly up year on year. Really good signs for Aussie, considering that inflation's coming down. We can start to cut rates and really bring this wage price index up. PMI, that should be deleted because that was last week. I think that should be it. Yep, that's all the readings for this week. This week's data, we had Trump speaking. It wasn't anything too important per se. It was just in regards to, I think, negotiations with China as well as EU and medication, something like that, which I'm not too fussed about. Powell as well, nothing too integral, which is why I left it out. I did read what Powell said, it was in regards to longer term inflation and longer term picture, but in terms of the short to medium term, which we're interested in, nothing really too key. Next week's data, we have cash rates of Aussie, which are expected to come down. We also got flash manufacturing and services PMI, and I'll have a quick dip and look into the home sales, and it is projected to be up for existing and down for home sales, new home sales. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. Okay, bias, which is what you guys are probably most keen for. Gold, I'm neutral on gold, if not even slightly bearish right now. We have decreasing US inflation, which is generally good for gold, but we've got bullish US economic data, which is bad, bearish or slightly bearish US labor market, which is good. So we've got this sort of neutral reading for gold. US 30 bullish COT reporting, neutral on US 30 economic. Actually, it's slightly bullish, to be honest, but with labor market and economic readings sort of cancelling each other out. So I'm on the sidelines for US 30 as well. AU, we've got very strong strength in Aussie, slight strength in USD, neutral then. UJ, strength in the USD, weakness in yen. Would be happy to trade it. However, because of COT reporting, and I'm already in this trade, so I'm not adding any more position to it. AJ, definitely would consider AJ. These two trades alongside are sort of similar. They're correlated in the sense that we're saying there's weakness in yen. So it really has to be a beautiful technical setup for me to get more position into AJ with this currently in drawdown. So let's just go straight to the charts. I'll show you guys what I mean with my UJ position. So we're going to have a look at the charts, see what's going on. Have a look at the indexes. As you guys can see, Aussie's going up. We are reaching this sort of resistance level, turn support. So we'll turn that to support there. So hopefully we can see a bounce up. Same thing as USD. We're in this sort of general uptrend towards this general downtrend line here. Yen, you can see we are starting to break that general uptrend. Right, coming down from there. AJ, let's have a look at AJ. So we can see we are definitely in a medium term or short term bull trend that's been around a month and a half now, where it's been coming up. Big spike from this April region here. Early April we saw a big spike. In terms of entry, let's have a look. Look, this technically could have been a setup, an engulfing setup. It's actually a pretty good one. It's on a trend line as well, right? It is on a trend line on a key area. But since we are in this UJ trade, I really don't want to add extra risk. So I'll show you guys what I mean. UJ, I am in UJ. What I saw on UJ at the time was good fundamental data with a 2 touch point trend line, which really doesn't matter. I just saw a break of this structure here on the 4 hour. Break of that structure, really nice candle there, comes back down. We see this hammer candle here, and then this candle here, where when I got into this entry, look, I took that risk, and this wasn't a clean bull candle, but it still is engulfing that candle, still did reject here and push up. So I got into a trade here, put my stop loss under here, which is good, because if I did put my stop loss here, I would have been taken out. We are sort of halfway, about a little bit more than half into drawdown for my risk. I risked 3% on this, which is 300 USD. So we're just going to leave this to do its thing. AJ, again, like I said, although this could have been an entry here, which will look, let's just put it up as a maybe trade in the past. So I can just actually put it here. Let's just put this as an intermediate potential trade in that we could have taken if it wasn't for this being on the risk table. But look, if we go daily here, there's a lot of upside. There's a lot of areas that we can target, right? So we could target here, here, and here. So there's a lot of areas to target profit and mitigate risk, right? Would be nice to have that 6R, but probably not. But anyways, we'll trail this, we'll get stopped out or trail that. I like the entry. If we make higher highs and we get this into profit, I'm more than happy to add position into this. So that's sort of where we're at right now, guys. I'm not going to have a look at the other markets because I'm not going to trade them. We'll leave everything as is. I'll take this off. And yeah, that's fundamental analysis for the week. In terms of how we're doing for the year, let's just go through our data as per usual. Just to recap, lost 1R in the first year, made 1R, but because of position sizing and errors, we were down that month. Big win in March, 1.2k. Loss in April, 1R, and then May, we currently still in May, we did lose one, win one, or this was break even, to be honest. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Peace.